Hello, everyone. Greetings from a Beetlejuice, or at least my, somewhat mediocre attempt at putting makeup that kind of looks something like Beetlejuice. Who knows? You be the judge. Let me know in the comments. Try to be nice. But Halloween isn't just about all the creepiness. I do love that, but it has also held such an influential place in my transition journey. One of the only times of the year that I could present as myself and dress up as just about anything or anyone. One of the only times of the year where it's like socially acceptable to dress in ways that are normally not socially acceptable. It took me until I was about 19 to realize how much I loved dressing up for Halloween and really any costume party. It felt freeing, even though for many years I didn't really wear anything that was overtly feminine. I mean, honestly, my sense of style was absolute shit before coming out. Probably has something to do with the fact that I didn't actually like shopping for clothes for myself until I was shopping in the section that actually matched who I am. Raise your hand if you can relate. I remember, I think in 2009, 2010, going to a costume party and having one of my friends do my eyeliner, mascara, nail polish, even wearing fishnets on my arms. Do you still call them fishnets when they're on your arms? Granted, I was going as an emo kid to this party, so it wasn't exactly an out of place or strange look for what I was going for, but I distinctly remember how having on that makeup and that nail polish felt. Didn't look great, but it felt right. I also remember not wanting anyone to see that nail polish the next day and having to awkwardly ask a girl who lived down the hall from me for nail polish remover, because obviously I didn't own any of my own at that point. That next day, after that party, like anything effeminate, it felt like I couldn't do that anymore. It was like, okay, I had my fun, now back to reality, and a reality that I hated. Don't think I fully understand it at that time when I was probably only 19, but the pieces were starting to click together. A few times after that, I would just act like I didn't mind to dress femininely in any way, shape, or form for any sort of costume party or any occasion where it might be remotely acceptable. Of course, I did kind of the cringy, douchey thing and just played it off like a complete joke, but on the inside, it again always felt right. It was something that I couldn't admit that I liked, without welcoming an overwhelming amount of shame and probably rejection from my peers, because, yeah. Let's fast forward to 2015, skip a few years, get to where I'm already starting my gender transition. 2015, Halloween. This was the first Halloween where I was truly me. I wanted to be myself, be Chloe, the previous year, but I just didn't really quite feel up to it then, since I wasn't out to hardly anyone at that time but my girlfriend and a few close friends. I'll say that I have very mixed feelings about this particular Halloween, since sometimes things tend to get more complicated than they should when gender transition is thrown into the mix. I went as a female version of the Joker, and as I'm reading this, I realized that I feel like this costume could get misconstrued for a weird version of the Joker as well, but I digress. I went as the Joker and my girlfriend went as Harley Quinn. It was actually super cute. We dressed up for I think 3 different Halloween parties on 3 different days. 2 of them went well, small house parties. The third, not so much. In retrospect, I don't really know why I agreed to go to a huge outdoor party in downtown Orlando with hundreds, if not over 1,000 people there as like a huge block party. I do remember feeling really apprehensive about it, and I feel super apprehensive about ever doing anything like that again now that I'm speaking about this. But I guess I just felt I would hopefully be safe with my girlfriend and a few of our mutual friends. Like I said, there was hundreds, if not over 1,000 people there, and it was very stressful, Keep in mind, this was a few days before I came out full time, so I wasn't out everywhere yet at this point. I eventually just got overwhelmed, and Chelsea and I, my girlfriend, we walked over to a nearby, not so crowded restaurant just so I could have a moment to breathe. I still remember she didn't really fully understand why I felt so overwhelmed. We even got into a little bit of a fight. It was more than just being in a huge crowd, which I already don't like that. I didn't like it then, I don't like it now. But it gets so much more stressful when I was so early in my transition. There's so many chances with all these people for somebody to say something shitty. And I don't want those people, those, nebulous people, to ruin my time or ruin the time of, the people I'm with. And it's not even in this crowd that the worst thing happened. It happened in a bathroom in a building like a few blocks from where the main party was happening. And, everything's gonna be fine. And then, as I'm washing my hands, someone yelled at me that I was in the wrong bathroom, which was jarring because I was literally in the middle of a conversation with another woman in the bathroom where we were just telling each other how much we liked each other's costumes. So it's kind of weird for one person to be accepting and the other person to be complete opposite. I took my time. I didn't say anything to the other woman, and then I just walked out. But on the inside, I was on the verge of tears, just trying my best to hold it together until I got back to my party. And by party, I mean my group of people, not the actual party. Yeah, not my fondest memory. I had another experience in 2016 at a crowded local brewery and bar in Gainesville, Florida. It was at this event that it kind of dawned on me. Something dawned on me. Something that happened at the 2015 Halloween, and then it kind of happened again at this Halloween. Something I realized that I've heard many other trans women experience this on Halloween and other occasions where, dress up for a costume party. Some people, only men, thought I was an effeminate guy dressing up as a woman for laughs. Haha. In the past, well before my transition, I probably would have just played along and played it off like I said earlier, but yeah, it would be really nice if these people didn't see my identity as a costume and just instead saw my costume as a costume. My identity as a trans woman obviously isn't a costume. My identity as a woman isn't a costume. But loving to dress up in costumes risks others thinking that my identity as a woman, not what I'm actually dressed up as, is the real costume. Hopefully that made sense. I feel like this is something some of you can probably relate to, where if we're in a stage in our transition, or if whatever we're wearing, whatever, somebody perceives that we don't quite pass, and yeah, they think we're a dude dressing up as a woman for, shits and giggles, rather than we're a woman dressing up as a woman character. It gets so complicated, and it shouldn't be, because it shouldn't be complicated for people to just not be an asshole, or just ask before making completely wrong assumption. Do the casual thing of like, what are your pronouns? But that doesn't really happen unless it's like an explicitly, overtly, LGBT space. Thankfully, this did not somehow ruin all my love for Halloween. Not even at this same Halloween event where multiple creepy guys thought it was okay to tell me that they wanted to sleep with the woman I went with to this brewery party because I couldn't possibly be dating this woman even after I told them I was. Yeah, but moving on. Not the greatest experiences in 2015, 2016, kind of some ups and downs there. So since 2017, I decided to organize my own Halloween parties and get-togethers each year, in addition to going out to explicitly LGBTQ-friendly bars and clubs. What of a world of a difference that made. I can go all out on my costume, be surrounded by friends and community, and not be subjected to assholes, at least for the most part. Who would have thought that would make Halloween better in literally every way? I mean, it helped by the time, 2017 rolled around. I had a lot more friends in the trans community, a lot more friends in like the LGBT community. Yeah, so it made it a lot easier to have people to go with who could understand my experiences, or at least better empathize with my experiences than, the groups I went with in 2015 and 2016. Like I said, I've always gravitated towards horror and loving Halloween, but just like how I didn't really like clothes shopping and building up a wardrobe until I started transitioning, my love for Halloween really came into full force once I truly felt like I could also wear the kind of costumes that I truly wanted to wear. Wear all of the makeup that I wanted to wear. I know I could have done it earlier. And I did, like I said, wear a few mildly effeminate costumes here and there before transitioning, but I felt like I finally had the permission. I was finally able to give myself the permission to fully be myself on Halloween and in so many other parts of my life. I had a few speed bumps and realized there are certain types of places and parties I definitely don't want to go to in the future. And, I did go to a party like this. Was this in 2018 Halloween? Thankfully, I was with a few close friends, but that party was a disaster on so many levels. But not for any transphobic reasons, thankfully. But thankfully, my love for the hands down best time of the year did not go away. I actually love Halloween more than ever now, despite, this costume is probably not the best first try. It'll be better by my fifth try. By the time Halloween's over, this will be better. This was actually the first year I didn't have my costume planned out months in advance. I think in 2018 and 2019, I was starting to figure out my costume in June. But again, this is probably due to everything just being off and weird because of the pandemic. It's one of these things that kept coming up in my mind, but I just kept putting it off because it's what is Halloween even gonna look like this year? It's gonna be all virtual. But like many parts of my transition journey, my relationship with Halloween and costume parties has been complicated and filled with speed bumps. But it also has been such an influential part of becoming the full me. And let's be honest, dressing up for Halloween is way more fun now that I'm living my life as the woman I was always meant to be. So all that being said, I would love to hear about your Halloween stories down in the comments below. How, if at all, has Halloween or other occasions for wearing costumes played a role in your transition journey? Do you also agree that Halloween is the best holiday ever? Or do you simply have an incorrect opinion? And as always, Tipsy and I love you all and hope you're staying as safe and healthy as you can, given everything that's going on in the world. Hopefully, you're able to have some semblance of a fun time on Halloween, even if it's just multiple virtual parties like I'm going to. Yeah, it just feels weird to say that. If you have not done so already, please be sure to give this a big thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and yours truly will love you forever. Bye for now.